So this is going to be the second video on the practice of Tulpamancy. So let's talk about what a tulpa is exactly. Within the subculture, I guess you could say, or group of individuals that practice and believe in Tulpamancy, um, who are known as Tulpamancers, a tulpa is a sentient being. Thanks for bumping into my computer. Let me move the cat. A tulpa is a sentient being that shares your consciousness, yet is separate from your consciousness. It is created from your own thought processes and your consciousness, but after kind of helping it to find its form and its personality through various methods, it is grown from a set of kind of responsive thoughts to your own thoughts as you train your brain to kind of have a back and forth, and this is more of the training wheel stage, to eventually be its own independent set of thoughts, feelings, responses. Some even give a tulpa their own kind of form or a visual depiction of what that tulpa looks like, which tulpamancers interact with in their own mental space. So a tulpa is a separate consciousness, or is believed to be a separate independent consciousness from that of the tulpamancer. So it is in a way and is understood as such in the community as being a separate entity inside the consciousness of the tulpamancer, which is created from it and separate from it. In the tulpamancy community, they are treated as separate beings. So a tulpamancer has themselves and their identity and that of their tulpa inside their mind. So let's take a step back psychologically here. So, who are you? Who am I? Who is so and so? You can apply this to anybody. Who is my cat? Who are my other two cats? Um, so when I was born, I was a tabula rasa. I was a blank slate. And then my personality, my own personality, my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, my memories, those all began to form through the experiences that I had and the information that I gained from my experiences by myself and interacting with others and learning from my parents and my family and school and all that stuff. So my personality was formed over time due to interactions with others, my own thoughts, and my own experiences. So, this is going to go a little bit out there, I guess you could say, but if I took all the information in my brain and I was able to disembody it and have it either somehow with some weird technology or spirituality, whichever angle you want to take it, contained somewhere else or floating out there or even within a computer. Just because I don't have this, right? Just because I don't have this physical form, would I still be me? I would like to say yes. So, the question really goes with this is what is the self? What makes you you? And the idea with tulpamancers is it's all the things that I just discussed. Your thoughts, memories, experiences, reactions, emotions, all of those things. It's all of those thoughts. So the idea with tulpamancy is that you create a self a self-experiencing entity within your head that becomes kind of separate from you with its own thoughts, experiences, memories, and things like that. Now, there are interactions between the tulpa and the tulpamancer where kind of emotions, thoughts, and opinions and feelings kind of bleed over on each other. That's actually what it's called. It's bleed over, where they kind of they feed into one another or influence one another back and forth. So really, the whole big thing is what is the self, and how would we identify between person A and person B, and that is through the experiences, thoughts, emotions, and all that stuff. So take a step back for a second and think. You know, when you interact with your friends, think of how you act. Then interact with your parents. Think of how you act. If if those two situations are different in any way, shape, or form, then you can kind of understand that in one situation you are playing one role out of one mind, and then playing a completely different role out of one mind. Some people have a completely different personality when they are in one situation versus another. You know, some people stutter or are super nervous, but then when they get into a certain situation, they're in their element and they're on fire. You know, or we have all of us have these roles and these hats that we wear given our different situations. You know, like me. You know, I'm an educator. I'm a writer. I am a postal carrier. I am a YouTuber. I am a fiance. I am a grandson. I am a son. All those different things. All those different roles. You know, and the different ways that I act in each of those roles is different. So take that and apply it to personalities, or let's stretch it a little bit. Multiple personalities or different identities. There are ways that I would act in one situation that I wouldn't act in another situation, but my personality can kind of change given that situation. Yet all of those things exist in here. Depending on the hat that I'm wearing, so to speak, I am playing a different role. I am having a different set of thought processes due to my situation that I'm in. So we all change our personalities and our hats depending on what situation that we are in. And what we are doing in Tulpamancy is having two of those things running at the same time. Anybody that's like a computer nerd, you know, if like you have a Mac like I do, there's a program, I believe, I can't remember exactly what it's called, so correct me if I'm wrong, but there's Boot Camp, right, where you can run Mac OS and Windows on the same machine at the same time. And yet, you know, you can like switch back and forth, you know, but think about a computer running two different programs at the same time, and you have them like, you know, one is on this half of the screen and the other is on this half of the screen. You're running two different programs at the same time. That's the idea behind Tulpamancy, where you have your consciousness running and the other one running at the same time, and they interact. You know, there's background conversation going on, two different opinions. There's chit chat back and forth mentally, and some Tulpamancers even they reserve their vocality to the voice, like I'm doing now, and their Tulpa is interacting with them in their mind. So they use their mind voice, and the Tulpamancer uses their voice for lack of a better term. Is there interaction between like the Tulpamancer's mind voice and the voice of the Tulpa in here? Yeah, that works. That happens, and that's how a lot of things are shared back and forth. That's where a lot of interactions take place. Interactions also take place during meditation in what is nicknamed the Wonderland, which I think is kind of a bit of a fluffy term. Sorry for anybody that kind of gets insulted by that. But you know, it's the mental plane. It's a place where where Tulpamancers go, where they have either just a random place that pops up where they are able to visualize their Tulpa, because the Tulpa takes on its own form, so it can be visually identified, just like how I am visually identified with this meat suit. So the Tulpamancer can interact with their Tulpa and, you know, differentiate it from a rock or a tree, for lack of a better explanation. Um, so yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it at that. So this has been my second video on Tulpamancy, which is kind of explaining what a Tulpa is. There's probably more that I could add to it as I continue to make videos here on different subjects of Tulpamancy, but the main discussion of this video was kind of describing exactly what a Tulpa is. And there's way more info that I could go into on explaining it. Yeah, let's add a little bit more to it. So psychological wise, I already discussed the the differentiating of consciousness and the different thought processes from a metaphysical standpoint. A tulpa is a separate yet connected energetic energetically created entity out of your own energy field, your own personal energy that you are able to interact with given the fact that you have created it. Um, so the main difference between the psychological and meta model is psychological tulpamancers that don't take on the meta side, and that's most of them. They believe that it's all happening within here. Those that are more into the metaphysical and occult side of things believe that it is a connected yet separate energetic consciousness that can interact with the world on an energetic level, much like an egregore or a fetch, and can even travel to different places to fetch information or get things like that. So that's the main difference between the psychological mancers and the meta mancers. So yeah, now I think I covered everything good. So let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comments. You can always email me at priestofthenecro@gmail.com. You can check out any of my other videos. Check out this playlist for Tulpamancy. You can check out my other playlist for how to work with magic, how to work with the Necronomicon, the theories that make magic work. And you can also check out my books that I currently have, which are on barnesandnoble.com and amazon.com, which is Magical Theater, which is the psychological and energetic interactions in magic and how magic works on both a psychological and energetic basis, where it breaks down the basic standard pagan ritual format and explains how it works from a psychological and a metaphysical model. That is actually, I could turn over this way, that blue book over there, which I'm terrible at pointing. And then if you are interested in the initiatory system of the Necronomicon, not only study up and actually work with the book and gain some general magic understanding and work with the Necronomicon for a while, but if you're planning your gatewalking, the Guide to the Seven Spheres and Beyond is fantastic for you. I don't have a copy to show of my book yet, as I'm continuing to set up this little display back here, but you can check both of those books out on amazon.com and barnesandnoble.com. So once again, let me know what you guys think, and good hunting.